We're recording? Oh, I didn't see you there. What's up, everybody? This is another show of
Cali Eastgate Show.
Cali Eastgate Show.
Yeah.
Cali Eastgate Show.
Cali Eastgate Show.
Cali Eastgate.
We just keep repeating
I don't know,
shit.
episode 6.
Oh, yeah. Shit, bro.
Episode 6.
Let the professor get your mind blown. Laugh at Jimmy, kill it, but on the side though. Mama Ray does his magic on the down low. BBC, you never seen it. In the views, you won't believe it. You can see it on the Cali Eastgate Show.
There we go. So yeah, everybody, we have today a living legend. Okay, this guy, the guy that invented the aerial, bro. Like this guy took us to school pretty much, cause like generations to generations to generations, this guy caused butterflies effect into everything that the skateboard realm has become. Right. This is my very good friend. JT or Jeff Tatum, as the world knows him. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello. So glad to be here on the Cali Eastgate Show and on the couch of Indica. I'm going to have to catch up with everyone in about 15 minutes, so
Oh yeah.
it'll work out.
Cut.
Like my couch got named. It got a name. Like you named my
The
couch.
couch
Yeah, couch of Indica.
Bro, you gotta sign my couch now. Bro, yeah, you named it.
Yeah, actually, wait. There would be good.
Right?
Yeah,
On the
yeah, just nothing
That's a
permanent.
good idea for this show.
Actually, yeah.
I like that.
Get
Yeah.
like a wall. Maybe sign the wall right here.
No, not my fucking wall. No.
Well, I mean, we could put a cover on it.
Stop. No. That's a good idea.
Fuck this wall.
Stop fucking my wall. Hey, no. Hey. I
Hey,
wanna-
and of course you're repping Cali, which is the best place on earth to live.
Yeah.
Is California.
Oh.
Pretty much.
We're right now in Southern California, probably the best place on earth.
Bro, you're about to steal my job.
So there you go.
There we go. No, bro. Like, I wanted to welcome you. Like, I know that for a while, I've been, like, you don't know how much I appreciate you and I admire you.
Well, thank you.
I've been, I believe, over a year, bro, telling different people, Kyle, you know, because I have this dream of making the JT Day. Bro, like, just an event, you know, just for you, bro.
And we're going to be doing that soon.
Yeah.
Actually.
2024.
I want to buy this, like, you remember how the Kings had a cape, you know? And then a hat and a fucking baton.
Like the Burger King.
Yeah. Yes. And we bring in this seat, you know, and he's just there, you know, like, and
Yeah.
we can go.
We could put it on top of skateboards. That way we can roll them. You know.
There we go. And then you can for $5 you can feed him.
There you go.
I was like, "Are you hungry?"
Anyway, so yeah, no, but for real,
That
you
event's
know,
coming
like,
up.
yeah, for
No,
real, it's
wouldn't
like,
be a bad idea.
because it's like, I don't think, like, I don't know if this generation is too young to understand who you are, you know, and like,
Well, I am kind of in that transition at my age, 65.
yeah,
That, yeah, if there's a gap there. That most people under that, you know, it's Tony Hawk here, and they kind of look
Yes.
at it like he did everything.
yes,
And the guys my age, the older generation, of course, skate generation, you know, they just sort of hang on to the original history and don't feel like they have to share it and talk about it as much,
right,
you know.
right, yeah.
So it gets kind of lost in the middle there a little bit,
Yes,
you know.
yes, and that's exactly what I mean about it. Because like you named somebody specific, Tony Hawk. I remember when I came in into the skate world, you know, like world. I fucked that up. The skateboard world.
Skateboard
Well, skate
world.
world. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand
The
perfectly.
world of skating.
Yeah.
Yes,
Boom,
yes.
boom, boom,
So whenever I came in, it was Tony Hawk, you know. But I've always been so curious about, you know, what's been before me, you know, like, and like
there was one of the last skate parks in the 80s, late 70s, the whole skate park thing went through an insurance problem and they all closed down. But one of the last ones was in Del Mar Skate Ranch.
Oh, dang.
And I was a resident pro there, and that's where Tony really started skating. So I got to see Tony develop, and he was just a little tiny kid then, you know.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's crazy because like you have seen them, like you've been skating for what, over 50 years?
Well, seriously skating for 50 years. I mean, my first skateboard, I think was in the late 60s, where we would just had the funky skateboards with the metal wheels, and we would sit on the sidewalk and go down, but we were still skating, you know. So that was late 60s. But by the time I was 12, 13, I was already making skateboards and bombing hills and fucking myself up and shit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna touch into that. Like when you came in, what is it that you're seeing around you? Like, so you explain it how you guys had these boards that you would sit around and like.
Yeah, some of the first skateboards that you could buy or actually sold. I can't remember. They're like roller derby or something. Oh, like a red wooden board. They had metal wheels. And if you stood up and went 3 or 4 feet, it would just slide out and slam you. So we learned to sit down and go down the sidewalk.
There we go. See,
but I was probably
no
6 to 7. What's that?
There's no skateboard yet, right? Before that?
I think there was 1 or 2 other brands,
Mm-hmm.
but still, they were, you know, the wheels were metal, so you really couldn't actually skate much on them.
Right.
So it was just the concept. Soon after that, the wheels changed, but
right. Were you because I asked this question because usually a lot of the skaters before they used to be surfers. Were you? Was that your
skating
case?
is a complete and total emulation of surfing.
Right.
Skateboarding totally was born from surfing. As a kid, that's how I started skateboarding. I grew up in Solana Beach. Right on the cliff, and we were surf kids. But, you know, it's San Diego, and there's not always waves.
Right.
Sometimes for months, you know, it's flat or just funky or blown out.
Yeah.
So we would get pretty bored and discouraged waiting for waves. And once I got a skateboard that had clay or urethane wheels where we could actually ride, we would do banks and driveways and stuff. I was like, fuck, I can surf all the time.
Right.
I don't need the ocean. I can surf the earth.
It's a 24/7.
Fuck that, yeah. So I just pretty quickly got drawn to. I was still lived at the beach and we would surf, but I didn't have to wait for waves anymore.
Right.
And so it's a total emulation of surfing.
Right.
I got a question actually.
Surf the earth.
When the urethane wheels came out, how much time between that and really getting onto like bowls was it? Was it like a year, or how long did it really take to be able to transition to that direction?
They were starting to ride bowls a little bit, even on clay wheels. It went from metal to clay.
Did you guys try metal on bowls as well, or
no,
bowls or anything?
No, when the metal wheels first came out. Anyone my age was pretty young at that point. And like I said, they didn't grip or anything.
Yeah,
you just slide right out. But after metal, it went to clay. Clay wheels were actually roller skate wheels. They were riding in the roller skate rink. They just adapted to skateboards.
Right.
They had the bearings in it, and if the wheel came loose, all the bearings would fall out. And then urethane came. But all that happened pretty quick, I think, over a couple of years.
Interesting.
It happened really quick. People started doing bowls just a little bit on the clay wheels, but they didn't work so great.
Mm-hmm.
But the second that urethane wheels kicked in, bam,
Game
everything
changer.
broke loose. That's when everything fucking hit the fan, man. People were able to do all kinds of shit on a skateboard.
Did you guys have big groups? I know like our group rides will get like 15, 20, 30 people out sometimes. Did you guys have like groups like that, or was it like smaller groups, individuals?
I think it was smaller groups.
Well,
right?
when we were skating,
you know, when it blew up, when your thing came out and started blowing up, did you guys have like smaller?
And the skate park thing happened, kind of.
Well, in general, did you guys ever like go out as groups, or did you ever just like?
No, it was. Well, it was the 70s, so things were completely different as far as traveling around. We didn't have a car. There wasn't a bus system. We didn't have phones, nothing. So it was probably 3, at the most 4 of us.
Okay.
We would kind of band together.
Right.
It still
Yeah,
blew
because
up.
the skaters, I remember that whenever I was a skater, it was like smaller groups. And it was like, because it's different, because like you're just meeting in a place and you're just doing tricks or something like that. It's different from the
Well,
electric
also,
skateboard.
like I said, I was just a kid, and there wasn't all the transit and communication there is now.
Right,
So, you know, you didn't go too far from your house to meet your friends.
right.
You know, so it would have been pretty hard then to meet with 20 or 25 people, I think.
And it's something brand new. You know, like
Yeah.
they're just innovating at
But
this
once
point,
you
right?
got to the bowl, that was a different story.
That's what I was saying. It's
You
like
know,
when you
because
got
then there would be all the little group, everybody'd be there.
yeah,
It's like a
that's
party.
what I
It's like a small party.
And
right?
That's what I was mentioning. Is
And
like
then at
when
the
you got to the
skate-
bowls,
then
like
at
how
the
many
skate
people would be
park,
there?
It was even a bigger scene. You know, you'd go with a couple buddies, but once you got to the skate park, everybody was there. You know,
Right.
Nice.
That's. But at this point, you guys are like, this is brand new, right? You guys you stopped surfing, right? They got the U-train. How do you call it, those wheels? I never.
urethane.
Urethanes, bro. This is the first time I pronounced that right.
You did great. You did great.
Thank
Carlos
you.
really stepping up.
I know,
his
I have
game,
a
like-
problem with
I'm
that
like,
one.
I
even.
graduated. I
You
need a
remember
head.
episode 1 when he couldn't even pronounce the names? Look at where he is now.
Bro, those were rough.
Well,
Those were
And
rough.
and they're still using urethane skate style wheels on
Yes.
some of the
Yes.
e-boards.
Yes.
You know,
Definitely. So like,
I think they're death traps on an e-board, but you know, to each his own.
don't tell Mad Wills that.
I wouldn't recommend it.
but like, okay, so on this scenario, right? So what do a skate looks like whenever you started, like after you like said fuck surfing?
Well, we
skateboarding.
always surfed, like I said, because we lived at the beach, especially if the waves were good.
Right.
You know, but yeah, certain skating definitely started taking over. And
But
being
what
more
do
important.
the skateboard looks like at this point?
That's when things started getting really fucking bitchin' fun. Because, like I said, the urethane wheel came out, and I was starting to ride empty. This is before skate parks.
Right.
This is before skate park. I was riding drain ditches, but mainly swimming pools. We would cruise around all day looking over people's back fences, looking for empty swimming pools. I was a surf kid, and I didn't know skateboarding hadn't happened yet. So all I knew was surfing. So I was emulating surfing. I went to a garage sale once, and I saw a wooden water ski with the nose on it.
Right.
And I bought that fucker, and I put my wheels on that, and I started doing the thing was 50 inches long. It's another thing. I was a longboarder.
That's a longboard, right?
Yeah.
They call me the original longboard. I rode a longboard
That's
through this
crazy.
whole time. Kids on the pop decks now don't realize that all this stuff was pioneered and invented on a longboard.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's
Interesting.
why I started the show saying like he's like what he was doing is like a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Look at this, bro.
I
Like
mean,
this
you got
came from
different
that.
variations
Yeah.
now too. There's so many
So
different
the
variations.
big nose quickly got shaved down because it was unneeded, but that was cool. I remember riding with the big nose. But I started shaping boards out of Makaha water skis,
Right.
and that was the start of the
That's
whole
crazy.
longboarding thing.
Damn.
You said something that caught my attention. You were looking into people's backyard to see if they had a pool. Like, do you know
When
these
I
people?
I grew up in North County, mainly Encinitas, Leucadia, and for a while in Solana Beach. But yeah, there's lots of alleys.
Mm-hmm.
And the alley, of course, everyone's backyard's on the alley. We would walk up and down the alleys looking for pools and people's pot plants to steal.
I mean, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
All you had to do is go to and there's in Leucadia and Encinitas in that area. There's almost everyone has a pool.
So would people let you ride on their pool?
No.
Or it was like you guys just looked in and just
A
hop
couple
on?
years later, when we got a little older, when my friends and I started turning 16, someone would borrow their mom's car and we would drive slow down the alley and someone would stand on
You guys
top.
look suspicious
Yeah.
as hell, bro.
Damn.
But no, I've been chased by many a cop and many a homeowner with a rake or a dog.
Bro, that was wild.
Yeah.
So that was part of actually a lot of the excitement of doing the pool riding thing.
right.
Was
Is
running
getting
away
in and
from
out
the
of
The
owners.
adrenaline, right?
Running
It's
away
like,
from
yo, let's ride as many.
See, nowadays you'd get shot in the head, but this
Oh,
was
yeah.
the 70s. It's like, get out of here, kids. Fuck
No
you.
security cameras.
Well, at the same time,
No security
No
cameras.
ring.
No,
No ring
they were still
doorbells.
getting away with it though. Like,
None
you
of
know, serial killers start happening when? Like 70s or 80s?
In some small microclimate skate cultures, that's still cool. Dudes still go around and look for empty swimming pools.
I would love to do that actually. Like
I
that
wouldn't.
sounds
It's
exciting.
scary as fuck. You see
Yeah.
how steep a fucking pool is? I give credit to this guy.
And in
not
LA,
doing that.
there's a lot of areas with thousands of pools. So,
I
yeah.
wonder if, one of the homeowners like at some points was like, "Hey kids, you want some candy?" Like I would have been concerned. I
Well,
would
we
be
did.
like,
We would run into sometimes the pool would be empty and it'd just be an older guy or someone, and they don't really care about the pool, and they're they're like, "Wow, that's really cool," and the guy will and then for a couple of months he'll let us come over and ride
That's
and
insane.
barbecue
That's
and shit.
cool.
Damn.
So
That's
we'd run into that too.
Nice.
I feel like that's like the kind of vibe that over the world we feel like, that California is. Because it's like you guys are raised here, but whenever I'm from, like if you live in California, you made it. Like in life. Like when I'm from, like
Oh, this is the
you're
place.
bro,
This is
you're
the
like
shit, man.
you're like you live in California and all people think is like, no, this is all love,
Now also it narrows down from there. It's North County, San Diego. Well, all of San Diego is the real, epitome of California.
yeah.
Yeah.
There
And
are
I
some
agree.
funky places in California.
And that's what I'm
But
saying.
not-
Like
not
that's the
nowhere in San
exact
Diego.
spirit. That's the exact spirit that we, like, the world expects California to have.
Now, keep in mind, the time we've been talking about
Mhm.
is the mid 70s. We're talking about the starting the longboarding and the pool riding and all
Right.
that. But that was still not even really the start.
Right.
Me and a couple friends were just fucking around, having fun.
That's
And then, like I
crazy.
said earlier to you, let's do this, and in 50 years this will happen. No, we were
Right.
just playing as kids, just fucking around.
At one point, did you thought, okay, like this is getting serious? Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like people are putting their attention on me.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
when did that happen?
pretty shit by the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s.
Okay.
Started doing the team thing and the contests and
Right.
getting in the magazines, doing ads,
Right.
all that stuff. Yeah.
That's
So everything happened pretty quick. I went from just farting around, having fun with my friends and making my own stuff within 4 or 5 years to going into a professional setting.
Nice.
Right. So, and that's curious. Like, when did you because I'm aware that you start innovating on the tricks, that you were doing on the board. When did you came up with your first pretty much like trick? What was the first thing that you learned how to do? Like,
Oh, that's a good question. That would be hard to answer. I was lucky enough to be able to pioneer, like we were saying earlier too, some of the fundamentals of skateboarding, and this all happened in the pool,
right.
in pools, but one in particular, but the carve
Right.
and going on the coping, the one wheel kick turn, it's called a grind now. We used to, originally it was called a one wheeler,
Right.
because you'd have one wheel. And
The aerial, right?
the aerial,
Yeah.
front side and back side. But these things, like I said, I didn't have anything planned. Okay, now I want to do the aerial. Okay, you know, like
Right.
skaters would now.
You were improvising.
Yeah.
I was just riding and
Right.
flew out one day and landed, and everyone's like, "Whoa, shit, dude! Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I can do." You know, you're just innovating. You know,
Right.
you're just progressing.
Yeah.
So
That's a big
what-
thing of improvisation. Like that's what.
Whereas you in skating, you can't do that now.
No,
everything you're copying or improvising.
Right.
So I was very lucky to experience it in that way, you know.
I feel
fresh
like now,
and new and real.
yeah, I feel like now for you to like actually like do something like that you say like, oh, I invented this. Like that's pretty rough because like everything, like almost everything has been
It's almost impossible
done.
to
Yeah.
do something different.
It's all
now,
gone
know?
to like Tony Hawk. So you know Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, where like those tricks that you're doing, those combinations where you thought were impossible, that's the new tricks now.
Yeah.
Is those combinations that you saw on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 that are being put into real life now.
Yes.
You know, so that's really, for me, that's what I saw the evolution go towards, is what we saw impossible at that time, that this is never going to be reality. You know, I can't fucking ever see this.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah,
like,
a double
holy
trick
fuck,
to do
dude,
a
like,
flip, you know.
I don't even know what this kid just did right here.
Yeah,
like,
you're like-
this motherfucker just threw the board and caught it somehow, and he
Everybody's
fucking,
like,
he manual still, and then fucking started doing other shit. Like, damn it.
it's insane, bro. It's insane. No,
Dude.
I love the way that you guys came up and then started innovating. You guys didn't know this was gonna catch on, and suddenly it catches on, and now like you got the opportunity of actually naming like your own tricks.
Well, so interesting. Let me see. Next chapter, right, beginning of the '80s when skateboarding started getting really super commercial.
Right.
You know, teams and uniforms and product and all that
Right.
stuff. Myself and my friends just weren't into that. I was still into just the soul of skateboarding, and I got really turned off by all the commerciality of it, and pretty much shunned that and did my own thing, even in the '80s. And just I wrote a different board. I looked different. I did everything as different as I could.
Who you had like to your sides? Like who's out there at the time? Like what legends are?
At the beginning of the '80s.
Yes, at the beginning of the '80s.
Well, pretty much anyone that's a skateboarding legend now, because that's kind of where they all started.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Most skate legends are from the early '80s.
right.
Some from the late '80s, beginning '90s, but mostly the earlier '80s.
Got it. Do you have a name or you know?
Like Mike McGill
Okay.
or Christian Asoy or
Okay.
you know.
And did you meet him at that time? Like
What's that?
Did you meet him? Like they were like
Oh
just
yeah.
just hanging around.
you know Jeff Grosso and you know all those guys. Yeah, there was a time where I was doing some competition stuff.
Right.
And like you were asking about, it was cool. You get to camaraderie with those guys.
Right.
You're all at that contest and cheering each other on and
Right.
stuff.
So at some point you said like you started doing your own thing. I'm guessing that's where you started practically your own clothing line. I would guess like if I should say it, it's like
style.
because like if you know JT like
That kind
JT
of started in the 90s.
in the 90s.
Ish. Because in the 80s, like I said, I everyone wore what was cool at the time, OP shorts and
Right.
certain boards and stuff, and I would make my own boards and
Right.
cut off jeans and tear them up or something.
Right.
But maybe it was also a money thing. I was still younger, so maybe I couldn't buy a bunch of cool shit.
Right.
By the 90s, I probably had a little bit of a job by then, or so, I don't know. but the whole crazy look and costume thing that came in probably 90s.
90s.
That's a whole different chapter story.
Bro, yeah, because like
But
if you know
that's
JT,
how we
you
know him,
know,
though.
bro, like you know who's JT by what he's wearing. Like
big
out of
time.
like the whole like it could be a really big group like I don't know, SDE Skate, bro, you spot JT in a second.
Yep.
So
he has like that kind of like Mad Max kind of look, like
Mad
at some
Max.
point, yeah, bro. Like,
well,
like you bring it all, bro.
I've always been totally inspired by the Mad Max thing.
There you go.
And even-
you called it.
Come on, baby girl.
And even Mel Gibson's kind of a chode, but I love his acting. I just think he's cool. And all the series of the Mad Max movies are cool. And then, you know, there's some bondage sort of mentality mixed in there. And being from the 80s and the late 70s, I was an original punk rocker. So with all those influences. But long story short, it came to a point where people knew who I was, especially when I went skateboarding or went to a skate park or a skate event.
Right.
You know, everybody knew who I was. So I think I saw an opportunity to play with that.
Right.
You know, like Bruce Springsteen. You know, you go and see him in concert, and he's got a white T-shirt and blue jeans on. It's like, wait a second, you can't dress up. I paid fucking $200 for these tickets. So I just, you know, I would, everywhere I went, I would get attention and knew. So I'm like, man, I can play with this. So I started doing crazy looks and seeing the reaction I got. And the more reaction you get from it, the more you do it. And, you know, I just started having a lot of fun with that. I could see other people had a lot of fun with that. So I just started going with it. And then towards the late 90s or something, I started the mask thing.
Right.
Because it's fucking hard to skate with the mask, full-on mask.
Yeah.
It's suffocating at some point.
Yeah, I don't know how you wear it so
like
long.
then the clock,
the goggles.
Yeah, it clocks.
Before I got the anxiety trip, I used to wear full head latex mask skating and doing hair and shit.
Yeah,
I can't do it now. It's too claustrophobic. But
tight too. Yeah, tight. Latex
but
is tight.
it was also, I'd been skating for 40 some years by then. 40 some years. So no, I wasn't tired of skating, but I think I kind of needed something to kind of spark it up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, instead of just grabbing my skate stuff to go skating, I grab my skate stuff and figure out, oh fuck, what am I gonna put on today? You know.
At this point, you have like what, 30 years already, like right by in 90s.
Yeah,
like
70,
you gotta get
70 to 90s,
you gotta do something different. Bro.
Yeah, it's like so that's kind of how
how it started happening.
That started.
At what point did you started e-boarding?
I started e-boarding. I think the first e-board I got was probably 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
So 16 or so.
2016?
Yeah.
Was it something like that? I came to the end of my skateboarding. I had a
how that happened?
Devastating injury. Just from doing a lot of aerials and riding pools and slamming the ground. It didn't happen all once. It was over time. A couple of the vertebrae at the bottom just smashed. And one day I was skating. For a couple months I had pain and I was like, something's fucked up, you know. But one day I woke up and I was fucked up. I was paralyzed on one side of my body.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
So I got over all that. Well, that's a whole nother chapter story. But I got over all that and I tried to go back to skating and I was going to the skate park and trying. I was too fucked up. I went home. I was on Amazon one day and I saw an electric skateboard popped up and I'm like, fuck yeah. I think the thing was $350. I got it in about a week. That thing literally, I got on it at the front door of my house. I lived in Oceanside. It probably went half a block and fucking crapped out and never worked again.
Oh my god!
And I don't even think there was such thing as customer service then. But I'm like, fuck it. So I ordered another one instantly, and then it just went from there.
Damn,
bro. So what do you remember the brand at that point?
I think it was brandless. It was like a Chinese. It had like a metal battery encasement. It was funky. It was all hub wheels then.
Oh, dang.
That's
No
Dang.
back motors, all hub wheel.
no, yeah. That like whenever I saw I didn't saw a belt e-board until I went to my first e-board ride.
Mm.
Because I was like, I had like mine had hub motors, and like at this point I'm amazed because I'm like, oh my god.
Well, the
like,
thing
an
I look
electric
back
skateboard.
now, I look back now. I'm really thankful that the e-board industry started out with hub motors, because when I started riding e-boards, I was still thinking skateboarding. I was still thinking I want to ride my electric skateboard in the pools like I ride my regular skateboard.
Interesting.
Right.
But I wouldn't have been able to do it with this setup now. So I was riding hub wheels so I could do that, ride in the bowl.
And people do that now too.
And my bowl boards that I was riding were one wheel, one hub motor in the back.
One hub
One.
motor.
One hub motor.
I didn't
And
know that was possible.
That's how a lot of the first boards
I mean,
were.
the new Stu's race board has a single motor now.
Really?
Yeah, Mario won the ABS with it.
That's
So with one
crazy.
hub motor, the boards were pretty light.
And there's actually a skinnier wheelbase, and you're able to keep traction better at high speeds. Hit corners better.
And
And
these
everything.
were on one side, which was weird, because if the board lifted up, the board would go faster. But is the one you're talking about in the middle of the back or something, or is it on the middle? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
a
true. You
shorter
could just
wheelbase,
put
so-
a big ass motor in the
Exactly.
middle
Exactly.
and really fucking
It's-
make the
it's-
thing
it's-
fly.
It was tested last year, I think, and then it's called the Super Spine, I think, right now.
Super spine.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this term. I just like.
I could be wrong.
I went
Don't
to
go me,
school.
don't
I
go me
like
100%,
that.
but
The one big one in the back.
yeah, Mario rides it. I think a couple other people are
We need to
trying
get
it.
Mario up in here.
Mario and yeah, exactly.
Mario,
Mario,
you're next.
Mario.
next. You're next. Episode 8.
So yeah,
So Ray's kind of like the drummer of the band. He gets stuck in the back and he does
Oh,
most
yeah.
of the work.
I
and-
mean, he's there,
and
but
he
he's
keeps
not there.
everything going,
Yeah.
and it's
He's-
all his beat, but
it's
nobody
like-
gets to see his ass.
it's like the movie Ghost. Like
Yeah.
I like to do this, and he's touching my hand from that side. You know, like so we have some contact. How's that song goes? Yeah, from movie Ghost. You remember?
I don't even know what movie you're talking about. I'm
The
gonna let you
Ghost,
finish
the movie
this.
Ghost, like from.
Yeah, there's a lot of ghost movies, but
with does
Right?
it have Patrick Swayze?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Patrick,
See?
my boy.
Come on, man, your culture swines. Come on. Sorry, but I'm looking like I'm older than you. Bro.
Man, I'm thinking about Ghostbusters over here. Like, it's like, where's this guy going? Like,
Oh, bro. No, so okay, so e-boarding. You start e-boarding after the accident, right?
Yes.
And so where were you at this point? Like
I lived in Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Yeah, owned a house in Oceanside.
Was there a lot of people? Like when did you saw your first group ride? Like
Oh,
years after
when
that?
I first started e-boarding, I didn't know one person on the planet. It was before I really started getting into social media, too heavy. But I didn't know anybody with an e-board. I was the only e-boarder around. I'd ride around Oceanside. People would be like, "Oh my god!"
Still,
then-
we have
Yeah,
those.
still.
You go around and people.
And that
like,
was
gotta be
another
amazed.
part of the fun of it for me.
Yeah.
I'm fucking looking like Road Warrior to the max.
Right.
I'm on an electric skateboard. Nobody's seen either.
And people
And
are
I would
mind
ride
blown.
around Oceanside and people would be like, "Oh, did you?" And then I would go to the store like a couple days later in my regular clothes, standing in line, and I'd hear two people. The other day, I saw this guy riding down the street on an electric, and I think he was fucking Batman or something, man. I would hear people talking that when I'd go around town. And so
he's like, yeah, motherfucker.
Bro,
Yeah,
like-
only if you knew. He's right in front of you.
so it was really fun. It was, a little like character that I had.
Bro,
grown.
still till today, I think it was 3 weeks ago. I'm riding like on the neighborhood, and there's this guy, bro. He couldn't get his thoughts together. Like it was like he lowered the window, and it was like, oh, what? Oh, it's just like he couldn't wrap it around. Like, hey, wait, stop! Like it's like
It's amazing at this point that
he
nobody's
made me
there's
stop. It's like because he
anybody-
wanted to question me.
Yep.
What is that? It's like we're not even out of the street. Like he's just like he stopped like this. I'm thinking, what did I do to him? Like we're gonna fight. It's like, what is that? And it's like electric skateboard. Like it's like
I know,
bro,
I don't know.
He's like I didn't even know that existed. And it's like, yeah, bro.
Where,
like
where are you
it's
from, dude?
Well,
But-
I had a family from Puerto Rico when I was down in Yuma riding with my brother and my wife, and they came up, and now granted they only spoke Spanish, but my wife was talking with them, and they were like, you know, we just saw you guys going back and forth, and we didn't know what it was. Now that you guys stopped, like we walked up and we had to like look at it, and they were like, what do you do? And she was saying how like, you know, what they do and stuff like that. And he was wearing boots, like traditional, like, you know, outfit. And I asked him, I was like, do you want to stand on it? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm going to hold the wheels. Like, the board's not going to go, just stand on it, you know, get a feel. Dude, he built such a smile. The whole family smiling. They got a picture with them. It's just like, it builds such a happiness in people.
Yes.
It's like, that's the best thing for me is telling people to get on the board.
yes,
Because that nervousness of like, I'll never be able to do that. And then when you actually force them to do it,
yes.
you just literally broke a barrier. And
Yeah.
they're like, right now, it's like, you can do
And
it.
you can do it, bro. It's insane how it
No,
works.
Yeah.
it's really cool
Yeah,
to teach
yeah.
someone to e-board.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like, I think we were with Kyle.
We were at the Broadway Pier, and you had the family out there.
Yes, they
Dude,
were from Costa Rica.
I got video of that. I don't know if
Yeah.
we've ever posted it because I don't know if we ever really asked them if it was okay. So I don't think I ever did.
They
but-
follow me now, like,
Oh,
on
do
the-
they?
like yeah, but
Dude,
they
it
live
was
in Costa
amazing.
Rica, and they were like, you know.
And
so,
I
like,
remember you were like
amazed.
grabbing their feet and like, here, no, put your feet position
Yeah.
here. The kid got on it, and I was like, hey, who's that? And he goes, oh, that's one of the kids right here. Has he ever been on a board before? No, but he was like out there flying immediately. Like I was like, maybe we should be careful with this kid.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, it brings like for me, like, and that's how I started.
Yeah.
Like, keep in mind, I found out about electric skateboarding about 2 years ago, because it was pretty quick. Like, bro, I found it on the internet, and I was mind blown, and I bought it. Like, there was no discussion here. Like, I was like, yeah, I spent my money like that.
Boom.
Boom. Like, I didn't even make research or anything. I'm buying this motherfucker. That's all I know. But like, bro, like after that, I started looking for like group rides or whatever. Like, I found SDE Skate, and I went to the first ones, and at the very first one, I met JT. I met
Marvin.
Tank.
TK.
No, the other one.
Tan?
Tan.
Yeah.
Tan. I meant Tan. I always mistake TK and Tan all the time. And then, not that they look alike, it's not racist. They don't look alike at all. Anyway, so yeah, I met them, and that's when I first found out that they have belt drive boards. And I was like,
Belt.
I was looking at it like all confused, like how does it, wait, wow.
So
like,
the group ride
Yeah.
thing, dude, I've been on hundreds of group rides, hundreds. I started doing the group ride thing pretty close to when I started boarding. I went directly to the skate park and did the skate park for a while, the bowls, but I found group rides pretty quick.
nice.
And even back then, they were pretty much the same as they are now.
We're there in
And I think that's when
In
I
San
first
Diego.
started riding. I was hanging out in Irvine a lot, Lake
Okay.
Forest, because I was riding with a pack of guys. Some of them still ride with Mo,
okay.
because Mo's kind of a Psycho Tiller.
Okay.
I was riding for Psycho Tiller, and he's in Lake Forest, and I was living in my camper van cruising around then. So I was hanging out in Irvine most of the time then.
Nice. So you started with a crew up there. When did you went back down? Like, I'm trying to guess at one point did you start riding with like
I think it was
SDE
because
skate.
we were getting bigger. I think we had more
The
rides.
SDE
yeah.
skate thing was way later. I mean, that's
Way later?
that's just been
Yeah.
that was way later. I can't remember what board I was on when I first started doing group rides, but I found the Evolve board pretty quick. It was like the first
That's what I started on.
or was it
I
GT
started
then,
out the
huh?
GTR, so I got
Maybe
the
it was
GTR
a
as the first
GTR.
one.
But that really opened up. Then I started doing bowls again, actually, with that board because it turned and yeah.
Because I know that like Evolve have interviewed you at least
Yeah.
twice, right?
3 times, I think.
3 times.
I think there's another. I think there's 3 altogether.
That's crazy.
Okay.
See,
Well,
I like that, you know,
Yeah.
because like I feel like you should be getting that type
They're
of
great.
exposure.
They're
that's
great
true.
people, and one of the best boards on the planet.
I agree.
I still
I
have
agree.
my Haitian is one of my most favorite things in the world.
Yeah, I remember that's when I started seeing you were already in Haitian. That's like that was
He
like,
got a Haitian pretty quick, actually. So the funny thing is, I think me and Jimmy got a Haitian, and he was riding the GTR, and me, him, and Jimmy were going on rides, and we were ahead of him. JT doesn't like to be behind. He's not gonna fall behind. So it was the next day. I think he went into to Evolve with Jimmy, and I think he purchased one right away. Yeah, right
Yeah,
away.
it's just such
it's
a
cool
one.
board, bro.
Dude,
like that
it's-
light underneath, bro. That was
The
clutch.
quality that they have is so good, honestly.
It's so user friendly, man.
Yeah.
It just is user friendly.
It looks so good at night too when you get pictures with it and you're lit up with it. It's just so.
I know that there's a lot of people that love the remote.
I'm one of those.
Yeah, like
I
they say,
actually-
once the people try
Everybody
it and
hates
get
it at
used to
first.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
once they get used to it, they love it. It's if you haven't used it, like,
Yeah, that
because
is
for me,
hard.
that's
So-
whenever I try them, like I feel,
So I
Oh my
was
God.
doing the Evolve thing for a few years and was loving. I really broke a lot of ground in e-boarding on the Evolve, doing crazy 40-foot ditches and starting doing bowls again. And I was started doing a lot of stuff that hadn't been done yet. But so I did that for a while and got more and more into the group ride thing, and the group ride thing got more serious and people got more serious about it. And then I ran into like, Jay and those guys and you guys and SDE skate guys, where the group rides are getting real serious. People are going 30 miles an hour. They want to go. So what happened was I ran into this dilemma of shit. I love my Evolve, but I need to go faster and farther to keep up with the scene I'm in.
Mhm.
And then I started hanging out with guys that like to do tour riding.
right,
We'd go out in Alpine and just ride
right. How
forever, 40 miles. 50
JT, how
miles.
old are you right now?
65.
65. He rides more than any of our regular riders younger, like 20, 30-year-olds. He rides more than all of us. I mean, I would go on a ride with them. They max it out, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going home, and they're pulling out their next board and about to fucking max that out. And I'm like,
I've seen
I'm
those.
tired.
I've been in 2 of those at least.
One
Yeah.
of the reasons I'm so thrashed, I've been like that with anything I do or touch my hands on, is I can't do it. I just do it until you can't stand up.
Yeah. I bet like he
That's
feels
when
like
you're
the
done,
ground right
is
now.
when you're sick.
It's just weird. Like standing like this, like I don't know. I prefer to be
But
standing on the
man,
board.
lately,
Yeah.
all of it's catching. I'm feeling old. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely slowing down. It's probably good. though.
after a few falls, I'm starting to feel a little older too.
Bro, like
You
they
don't
stick
feel-
with you.
Yeah.
What has been your
One little fall, just a little fall, and you're all like, oh.
That's a good question. What has
What-
been your
Your worst
worst
fall?
fall? The worst one.
Shit,
Like
when
that
I
you
got
remember,
my-
like you fell and you were like,
No,
okay,
I
I'm not
don't-
remember this.
You know what? Almost right in front of me, I've seen someone die on an e-board.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Was his name Steve?
When
Steve Silverman? Yeah.
When I
think
got
his
my-
last name. He got hit by a car. took his whole leg off practically. It's crazy.
And you're laughing about that?
Whoa, dude, he's back
You're
riding 6
laughing
months
about
later.
that.
Bro.
Dude. He's back riding 6
Hey,
months
somebody
later.
cancel this guy, okay? Like, I'm not the worst
Well,
one.
when I found out it was,
Like, no more.
Yeah,
like,
you're
you
gonna
found
get
out it was
complaints
him.
on
shame
that.
on yourself.
I'm like, dude, you're still like going crazy as fuck right now. Like, how are you going crazy as
I'll
fuck?
be
He
like,
almost died.
shame.
Shame. He's all right. He's all right. Don't worry.
I got my first cyclotiller board.
Right.
And I took it out, and one of the only times I rode with Dave, that's the cyclotiller guy. And I was filming on my phone. And I'm zooming, and I'm like, I remember in the phone, this thing's so rad. Oh my God, this thing's here. And then I go down the end of the street, and I remember in the phone, I go, I'm going to fucking open it up this time. And I got my phone, and I fucking just opened that thing up. Must have been doing at least over 35, pushing 40. And the thing just fucking blew out, just wobbled and blew out on me. I got knocked it. I woke up a little while later, but I had it all on video too.
Wow.
And I had a bullet belt, a punk rock bullet belt, and it blew all the bullets off of it and tore half my pants off, hit my head. So that was a pretty bad fall.
You got that video still?
I don't have the video anymore, but it's somewhere on my Facebook because I put everything on my Facebook. And
Okay, I'm taking a long trip tomorrow. I got some time. I'll look for it.
So everything's on there. It stays, right? If you put it on there.
I don't know.
I think everything stays, even from years.
I mean, everything stays on the internet. Nothing
and
gets
I
deleted.
think you can go into the activity log or something.
It's always in a server somewhere.
Yeah.
Always.
But I think if you even on your page,
You know, Carlos, nothing. Okay, Carlos, nothing. I don't know.
Delete it? Not anymore.
I mean,
Hold on, let's get that again.
It's like one, two. Does it say that again?
Carlos is gonna steal your information.
That's not me, baby. I live on the 5th floor. Right, that's not me.
but unfortunately, bro, I have eaten shit.
That's the
People are
guilty
gonna-
face.
people are gonna
Guilty
be like,
face.
oh, he's
Why-
a scammer.
I don't know. You seem to be blushing right now.
Hey, look at the back of his head is all pink.
Right?
You got so sweaty all of a sudden.
Now I'm
It's a
open.
sunburn.
No, he's all pink.
It's sunburn.
Ding, 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 ding.
No, dude, I've eaten shit big time. So
Bro.
many times.
But that's the worst one that you can remember.
That was one of the worst ones. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't kill myself. But I've eaten shit so many times. Dude, I got a bunch of money from a Chinese e-board company when I first started out.
Really?
It's a long story. And I set out to buy every electric rideable I could get my hands on. And at the time, their electric rideable thing had just started, just was blowing up. I had an electric one-wheel motorcycle, electric ripstick, electric One Wheel's not the One Wheel company that there is now,
Right.
but One Wheel's the board with the wheel in the middle.
Mhm.
They were coming out, Chinese models.
Right.
All kinds of crazy electric rideables. And I bought one of every one of them and went out and rode these motherfuckers. So I ate shit a lot.
There's only one way to learn shit.
Is
The hard way.
Eat some shit. So
It's like, I used to have an ass. It's gone now.
Dude.
It used to be back there.
I'm
No.
getting some hip protectors here soon.
That's the
Thank
thing.
you, Beyond Riders.
I became a pad expert.
Yeah, I thought
I
they
did.
Bro.
Which ones were?
I mean-
I would modify them. If something I couldn't get, I would fucking make it because I was getting fucked up, and so every time something would get fucked up, I'd cover that spot.
Yeah.
You know. So
No, bro.
I'm a pad expert for 50 some years of wearing pads.
So you know how in snowboard, like every time you fall, you like most of the times that you fall a lot, like on your ass.
I
That's
always fell on my stomach.
So like on this one, like I have fallen the most like on my ass, bro. Like
You know
second
why
fall,
that is?
bro. I had a black, like kind of like how'd you call that?
I think we saw that video.
No.
It's when your ass got way too separated,
Yes,
right?
yes, bro. Like I was like, I
Well,
took a
it's-
picture.
it-
Not
it-
that you guys want to see it,
We'll
It's
have it on the
Nobody
screen
wants
here.
to see my ass unless.
It's interesting you say that
No.
because
Because
My
I've been
ass.
waiting to see it.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you when we were in the bathroom, but I forgot.
I was wondering why
He's
you
like,
guys
is
are
that a
going
bird
together.
mark or? He's like, I don't believe you. Let me see it
He
again.
named the couch. He named the
No, it
bathroom.
is interesting you bring that up because I figured that out. Many years of falling on an electric skateboard, no matter what seemed to fucking be happening, I'm going forward or I start to fall, I always fall on my back, backwards. If you think about it, it's the motion of the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
So even if you know, sometimes you're going slower and you slam the brakes on too hard,
Mhm.
you'll fall forward.
Yeah.
But you'll almost find always, no matter what happens, how you flip, you always end up on your back.
Yeah.
And I think it's because just the motion, the momentum of the motors of the board are always gonna.
Bro.
When you start losing your balance and you're leaving the board,
Mhm.
the board is going. So you're always gonna get thrown backwards.
Yeah.
But and my fucking backpack has saved my ass so many times. That
Bro,
We actually were
big-ass
talking about that,
backpack.
dude. We cannot ride without
Bro,
ours.
my backpack. I
Dude,
feel
my backpack
unsafe.
is bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
You should see
Yeah.
the thing now.
Yeah.
The thing, people go, "Oh, you got the biggest ass motherfucking backpack."
But I feel protected. If I don't
Yeah.
have it, like I feel like, oh my god, like there's something weird out here.
No,
like,
last
Yep.
time I fell real hard, that backpack's really sick. I got
Yes.
fucked up, but I flew up, so you're kind of level with the ground, and then bam, straight down. That backpack was like a big cushion.
Yeah,
Nice.
no,
Nice.
it's like for me, it has saved me a lot of times. I know that like last time, like you know how you innovate like on the tricks, and you have been innovating on the closing and all that stuff. I innovate on the falls, bro, because like bro, like that helmet, like I fall on my head last time. Like I slammed my head in the ground first. And I was like, damn, this is a new one. I'm like, it's like as soon as I hit, I'm like, oh, that's a new one.
Isn't it crazy when you first hit your head or when you hit your head? It's scary, man. It makes you think like, fuck, should I even be doing this shit?
Yeah.
I think that's a fall that always freaks anyone out. And you have a little PTSD afterwards. Now, I've hit my
You
head
do.
like, I've got, that Psycho Tiller, I
Mhm.
had a huge, there wasn't all these cool helmets really yet. You still had the funky motorcycle helmet.
Right.
But I had a huge jack-in-the-box head looking fucking thing. And I got knocked out with the helmet on. If I
I
didn't
want to
have,
see this helmet.
Check the
It
box
sounds like
movie.
Look
we
like-
should post a picture of this.
but I got knocked out with the helmet on.
Interesting.
So if I didn't have that helmet on, my head would have busted like a melon.
Yep.
Yes, yes. I can't stress enough how much important is like protection, like on e-skating. Like if you're out there, like not wearing anything, like you
Well,
definitely
there's
need it.
two kinds
Yeah.
of e-boarders. We all know. You see the guy ride by with his, slip-on Vans and no gear, no
Mhm.
helmet. You always say, he just hasn't fallen. He's a newcomer. He just hasn't fallen yet.
Yes,
And
yes.
then you see the guy with all the gear. He's fallen.
He's
before.
a
Yeah.
he's a veteran.
It's
Yep.
before
Yep.
fall and after fall.
yes,
You
yes.
should wait for our fails video.
Yeah. Yes.
And I
No,
talk to
definitely.
people, I'll run into some guy that has no gear, and I'm like, dude, where's the gear? They're like, oh, I don't fall. I don't, and I was like, well, you just haven't fallen. yet.
Yeah, no, and it's
Yep.
like that. I remember. I think it was you or Jimmy, one of the two that told me once. It's either you have fallen, like you're expecting.
It's not a matter of if, it's when.
It's when.
Well,
that's
yeah,
it.
you probably showed up
Yes.
with like some funky, shitty pads or thin pads. And we were probably like, dude, man, you need more
Bro.
pads. You were like, wow,
Well,
why,
that's the
man? And we're
thing.
just like,
Yeah, because
you,
like
you probably said, I've been okay up to now. I'm doing, and we were probably like, dude,
bro, and
not a
that's-
matter of if,
when
it's a
you
matter
are
of a when.
when you're a skater and you come into the e-boarding business, bro, like you come in like, all hyped up. It's like, nah, I ain't wearing this pants. Like, fuck this helmets,
Oh,
and
dude,
suddenly you fall.
like I
It's
said-
like, hold on, let me get my helmet. Like, bro, that's exactly how it went. I went to the store, like, I pushed 18 miles an hour on the board, and like I think I pretty much try to run it. Like I felt I got a speed wobbles.
Oh no.
And I try to run it, and then I ate shit.
Yeah.
And there was a guy, like, suddenly, like, I stood up, and there's this guy that rolled his window down and screamed, "I saw it!" And I was like, damn! Like, bro, it was hilarious.
That's the worst part of falling is that
Oh,
people
yeah.
see.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
like,
You always check around before yourself.
oh, especially, I think that's being the only fall that I have that haven't been recorded, by the way. But
Oh,
everybody
and we
knows
lied
this.
to you the last episode saying that you've had every one.
Yes. Yeah. No, actually, no. I think I have it. But you don't see me fall. It's like I'm recording a video and I'm trying to send it to my friend. And like,
And
bro,
now
suddenly
we
I
know
went
why
to
you
boom, 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 boom. And you can hear
Oh.
that. I saw it. Bro,
No
I'm a find it. Yeah, I remember.
Don't get my hopes up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta get the chat. It's my good friend Alicia. I was sending her a video, and suddenly that happened. I was like, damn.
Oh, dude,
I
that's
can't.
so good.
I sent it to her. Like, I think I did send it to her still. Like, yeah.
Damn.
No, that's
No,
hilarious.
and when I first started doing group rides years ago, most people would show up without any gear. Gear still, people hadn't figured it out. If you're going to e-board, you got to gear up. You're going to fuck yourself up.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of kids and people get fucked up,
Yes.
hit some gravel. So as it seemed like as a couple of years went by, people got more serious
Yes.
about gear. And then it got to the point where I started going rides, and the hosts of the rides would even tell people,
Yes.
you can't go on this ride if you don't have a helmet.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean,
it just
when
got to the point so many people were fucking themselves up.
Well, when you get sponsorships, you have legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legally,
I know,
you don't
yeah.
want to get any of the companies that are putting on the events in trouble.
But
You
Every
know?
video that we do on tread lights, I know that whenever like we go out there to shoot, Eric is very big at like on like no, like everybody's wearing a helmet. This is what we're promoting. Like
Yep.
he's very professional on that, and he's very good on not sending the road. You chew me
At least he didn't rip a big one.
Yeah, but he's very professional on that, and he's like on point. Like it's like, no, if you're not wearing a helmet, we're not shooting with you.
Well,
Yeah, that's
I think I've been able to contribute that way to a lot of people because, dude, I've talked to a million people that show up for the first ride, and I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
that ain't gonna fly.
Mhm.
You're gonna fuck yourself up. They're like, really? Oh, my buddy
Yeah.
told me it was okay, and I'm like, no,
No.
dude, get this, get
That's
that,
the
get
thing.
some of these, and they're like, okay. They show up the next ride with that shit and fall and
Mhm.
come and say, dude, I'm glad you told me.
Bro.
You know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, see,
Because that's the
You
thing.
know?
Like, you don't know you need it. Your ego is telling you, no, you don't need that. You don't need that. Because I know it happened to me. Like, because I was a skater before. And it's like, I was like, nah, I don't need that. As soon as that happened to me, I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Like, I'm getting a helmet. I bought, like, bro, half helmet, bro. Like, I don't even know what brand.
I got the Evolve one.
$10 or something. Like, bro, like, I was going to fuck
I
that
got the
up.
Evolve one. It came free with board, so I was like, oh, perfect. I didn't have to
It
worry
came
about
free
it.
with
Yeah,
a
it was
board?
a deal at the time.
well,
must
still
be.
what's
Yeah.
got to be incorporated into the e-skating mentality, two things, protection-wise, is people are pretty hip on the knee and the elbow and the
Mhm.
helmet and the shoulder and all that. People don't think about how important, and there's two things that are going to hit the ground first. First, your wrist hits the ground.
Mhm.
It's the first thing that hits the ground. That's why wrist guards are so important and people don't wear them.
Yep.
The second thing that hits the ground is your hip, your
Yep.
fucking ball joint. And
Mm-hmm.
you fuck that up, dude, you're crippled. You limp weird for the
Oh,
rest.
man.
You break that and fuck
And
that
then you're
up.
unattractive automatically because like
Yeah.
walking like that, it's
Well,
like
I'm just saying it's
He's like, I can't do the penguin dance anymore.
Hey,
He's like, I'm gonna be all cockeyed.
you gotta practice on your stand after that.
so what I was saying is people don't even realize in this sport how important a proper hip pad is. Proper means first there has to be padding, and then there has to be a hard shell on top of that.
Mhm.
People are wearing padded shorts and things like that, and all it has is some cheap foam right there.
Mhm.
That'll keep you from getting road rash,
Mhm.
but it doesn't do anything for impact. So you have to have the foam and the hard shell together.
Yes.
The hard shell breaks impact and the foam keeps the hard shell from slamming against your skin. Same with your knees. But I wear a hip pad that has a hard shell on. I made it out of yoga mat I cut and got a shell off the pad and put it on there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But nobody really wears a proper hip pad, and your hip is just as important as everything else.
Yeah.
So I wish there was a way to incorporate that into the mentality more.
Right.
Is wrist guards and hip pads. Now I've been wanting to. I know how to make. I have a great design for a hip pad that you can put in any pants. And I really been thinking even more lately of trying to maybe market a good hip pad. The reason people aren't wearing a good hip pad, there really isn't one. There are some really cool shorts that have the pad with the hard pad for motorcycles, but they're not in the right place. They're the pad is too low on the shorts.
Now that you say that, I think it's probably a good moment to say like, hey, thank you to our sponsors, which is Treadlights and Shockboards. The boards right here. But also, I got this special delivery.
Yeah,
I got
today, right now.
Today,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
And then I got
that one you were going to give me.
Come on, man. He trying to play me out here. Like, he's trying to hustle me. So,
If there's any jacket companies who wants to, sponsor JT,
So-
reach out to Cali Eastgate Show. We'll get you in touch.
we got, like, hustling.
You're my product manager hub here.
We got Beyond Riders that sent me. Did I say bus? Like, sorry. So we got
It's
Beyond
not riders, it's beyond.
It's beyond that. So they sent me this pretty much package today, right? With this jacket that it has not been pretty much
Announced or
Yeah, like this is brand new. So I was honored to be like very first one to even wear it, right? So
Have
it's
you
the
worn it?
unveil. Like if we had some drones.
This is the opening right here.
Like, yeah, this is like pretty much the first time
This
they're
is
gonna
it.
see. Everybody's gonna see it because I haven't seen it. And we got this this bag, right? But it's a reflective one.
It's nice
with
plastic.
this- yeah,
It's a nice
Good
plastic.
packaging.
it's all silvered and it's meshed. Let me put this. Came with a note. We love you. No, it doesn't say it. It doesn't say that.
I don't get no love notes from Beyond.
Oh, no, you must not be that important. I'm just saying. No,
No, I read it. It says I read it. It says if you don't show it on the show, that they're
They're gonna
want
take
back.
it
you gotta
away.
return
They
it.
want it back.
Oh, I got chest
Ooh.
pads too. Chest pads. I didn't have chest
Ooh.
pads.
That's new.
You got to slide them in.
That's
Huh?
new.
Yeah, that's to cover my. It's like, a
That'd
bra.
be good.
But yeah, I got the pads, and then let's take a look at the jacket right here. You see it right there? Right. Okay. Should I? Let me just wear it around. Kind of like have people.
Ooh, that's nice. If you don't use this in the jacket, check that out.
Yeah, you can
That's
put it
a
on
heck
your.
of a hip
Yeah.
pad.
There we go. Innovating. Like, I'm gonna put this
Right.
over here. That's. Now I'm gonna put it around.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Let's see this.
Zoom in on the nipples.
It looks. I always like
Oh, I look.
it with the reflective.
Do I look good?
black.
Yeah.
Yeah, stand still for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see the mesh. Is it
Especially with the light, you can really see the
Did you
reflection.
put all the pads in?
Oh no,
No,
I haven't
no,
put
this is
the
without it.
pads, but this is how
like
it looks.
breathable or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like the mesh on it, I guess. And then the reflective pad is good, but like we'll talk about it more on the next
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to show it around,
A
since
little
we're talking
unveiling.
about it. Yeah. But that's nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty tough for and that's really good because as we're speaking about the jackets, right, and the protection and all that stuff, Beyond Riders is very good. Beyond Riders is really good whenever like you tell them like, hey, you guys should have this, you guys should like add this to the
You take feedback well.
bro all the time. So they're very, very good with that. So I would say like if we send them a message, or even they see this video, they're gonna start working on it.
Yeah.
They're just like that,
That jacket's really awesome.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really
I
is.
mean, a lot of the popular jackets that are out, I don't like the color or the
Yeah, no,
design,
this one's
but I
pretty
like that one.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
sharp.
like it's
I-
kind of
I
like
could
a
do that.
silver on top.
Yeah.
It
and
almost
then
looks blue
black.
though.
Yeah, but it's like silver. I think it's the light, maybe.
Yeah, because I'm getting the reflection on my end, so it looks kind of blue on my end.
The flag even
Looks like
on
a
it's
light
great.
gray.
Light gray, right?
But yeah, when it's illuminated, it's like a bright white.
Yeah, well,
See,
I'm blind.
love it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Beyond Riders. And then we'll do a kind of like a review on the next one.
I mean, I think we had like
Let's.
10 jackets from them at this point.
Yes,
between
look
us.
at that,
Yeah,
bro.
we got like 3
Look
here.
at that.
I have
Gotta
2.
go out,
My
put
wife
the
has
jacket
some.
on and do some writing.
Yeah.
We'll do some little film clips.
Definitely.
We'll have to put together a good
let's
video
get
for
to the questions.
Oh, yes.
So we posted that we were gonna interview you, right? And like we had people send questions like that they wanted to ask you,
Mhm.
right? So we're gonna go over them. You do one, I do one. You wanna do
Okay,
it?
yeah, you start.
Okay. What was the first board brand like wise that you had if you remember?
I go,
Or since you started, like, remember, because I'm like, bro, like,
They're
you've been
very-
writing since when? Like 14? Like 14 years old?
no, when I was,
You know how much weed you smoke? Bro, like, I'm like, bro, you gotta be
at 14.
gone. Like, there's some information, like, your brain's just like, no, dump this. We don't need this no more. Like, it's like,
The first board I had, I was probably 6 or 7, and I think it was called a roller derby, but it was red, small little red wooden board with the metal wheels on it, and like we were talking about, boards evolved pretty quick after
Mhm.
that. So I had a zillion
Mm.
boards
Okay.
then.
so roller derby, the closest you can
I
get to a
think
name.
that was my first board.
Okay.
That was, I don't know how many zillions years ago, so it's pretty hard to remember.
Your turn.
Well, mine's going to be pretty easy. His name is DJ Hesto19. Said,
Oh.
I just want to say, what's up to the homie JT, and how are you? So,
I'm much better even. I was good before that question, but after that question, I'm even a lot better.
There
well,
we go.
Well, that's thanks to the fans, making JT a lot better. Keep that up.
Yeah.
Questions coming.
Okay, we got, let me see, I got, what was the first trick you came up with? I think did I ask you that?
And that would be on a regular skateboard.
Yes.
Jeez, man, actual trick. See, that's a hard question to answer because, like I said, when it was super new,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would you even call it a trick? Just doing the natural motion, starting to find and create the natural motions that everyone would have to do. If a pool's never been ridden before,
Mhm.
someone's got to figure it out.
Right.
So that person that's figuring it out, is that a trick? I guess probably one of the first tricks then would be a carve.
A
Because that's
carve.
the first thing we did in the pool.
Right.
Start in the shallow end and go down.
Turn.
Carve around the bowl.
Learn to turn.
Yeah.
We started around the bottom, and then we get over the light, and then it was to the tile. So
Just whenever you didn't have nothing else, then
It's funny because
dude, I was.
that's when the magic, I guess, came in.
if you think about it, if to the normal person that doesn't sound like a trick,
Yeah.
but back in the day, that was kind of a
I
trick.
guess
That
it
was,
was.
It
so
is.
Because there was
that's
a
the
point where
progression.
That's almost all we knew how to do. We first started riding bowls. We'd stand in the shallow end and drop in and carve around.
We just, what happened? You wanna?
The way he reacted.
we're on pause, guys. Don't worry.
We're in pause.
Bob.
Can they see us?
We got intermission. We're just gonna be dancing.
Let me turn the light on.
Come on, JT, get up with me.
Normal shit on normal people.
Don't worry.
Let's go on with the next question. We got here.
So the answer to the last one was a carve, I guess, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
true.
Yeah. A carve. What about like whenever like you took flight? You know, when you actually jumped. What was the first like? Was it the aerial?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. You got another one?
Yeah, I got one from Estelita. She says, "What was your favorite skateboard trick you created?"
My favorite. I created a trick that still today no one else has done. It's a pretty elusive trick. It's called a fire hydrant.
Okay.
Shit, I wish I could have a picture of it.
Okay.
But I go up fakey and take off my back foot and stick it up in the air, and then put my foot back on and go back in.
Interesting.
When you're
I
at that
think I
point-
saw this.
When you're at that point, it looks like a dog pissing on a fire hydrant. So I
Interesting.
called it the fire hydrant.
That's
Ah.
crazy.
And it's pretty it's a pretty complicated trick. There's 3 or 4 parts to it, but mainly it's like a one-footed fakey kind of thing.
Interesting.
Right.
The fire hydrant. That's one of my favorite out of many tricks.
Right.
See that? Oh, it was good.
There's a ghost.
I need an extension cable.
Okay.
Apparently that cable and that one, those two, burned that whole thing.
Oh, really?
I guess it must have been overlapped. No?
I got you. Don't worry. Keep it with the next
Well,
one.
I got a question personally for me. It's and I just kind of forgot it because of all this going on. My question is, since you've been really from the very beginning of skateboarding into e-skate, where would you say that the sport would be heading to in the future? Where do you see the sport progressing to in, say, the next 10 to 15 years?
Then that is the best question of the night. I think that, that's such a hard question to answer right now. I so many places I thought e-boarding was going to go. A lot of the skateboarders didn't jump on board with it. And it seems like there's so much competition from all the other types of rivals, UCs and scooters and everything. It seems like so many people are going that way. I really had high hopes for e-boarding and that it would just be the biggest next thing because it's so fucking cool and so fun. I think you look way cooler on an e-board than some of the other rivals. But lately, I've been worried, man. I mean, people love UCs and scooters and e-bikes are just blowing everything. So it seems that the industry and the appeal, mass appeal, if anything that I saw, has shrunk compared to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a great question. I'd like to be able to say it's going to be, it's going to happen. I will. But I said that 5 years ago,
Right.
Especially 5 years ago, I'm like, e-board is going to be the hugest fucking thing in a couple.
Right. There we
But
go.
so-
Let there be light.
I think it's tightened up. It's more of a core mentality, and people. But I don't know. I'm afraid that there's just so many other choices. It starts to get kind of buried and lost. What do you think about that?
Me and Carlos, we work with chalkboards, and we've really been able to take that system out. And for me, I look at really taking it more out the streets and really on the mountains. For that feeling that I got when I was on the mountain and being up there on a skateboard that got me there, it was just that for me, that was something I saw as a progression in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the next possible step to tackle is getting the mountain figured out, getting something like this adaptation wise figured out. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
really.
haven't seen any problem with progression in the sport, especially in design. There's a lot of really cool shit going on.
Yeah.
Just I'm talking more of the mass, becoming like an e-bike.
Right.
E-bikes are a mass appeal,
Right.
dude. I mean, there's a zillion. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
Everyone that like an e-phone, I mean like a phone has an e-bike.
Yeah.
But e-boards still have a long way to go to
Yeah.
get that way.
No,
I think
definitely.
batteries-
I feel the same way.
I
feel
think
like
batteries are the next big tackle.
batteries. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the battery sizes that we have to get to get the ranges that we want out of these are detracting us from wanting to ride them. Because when you're riding a light board like Evolve, when you're riding Evolve, you're getting that carving, and you're just that feeling of being able to just turn that thing, on a dime. And when I'm riding like the Metro board is a very heavy board, and it's just not, it doesn't carve
like
the same.
I'm riding the Flipski, I love it.
Right.
It's power, but it's a beast,
Yeah,
that was
soon,
actually-
I hopefully a few years, the battery for Evo will be this big.
yeah. And
It'll
what if
go
it charges up
100
quick
It'll
too?
go 100 miles. It'll be this big. And what you can do is you can put it underneath the back truck, so it's not. So we can go back to a
Right.
regular skateboard
Yeah.
style and be lighter. But we're still a ways away.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think that the progression of technology still has a long way to go.
Mhm.
Actually, you answered the next question. What was your current board right now?
I'm
the
riding
Flipski.
a Flipski
The
Lightning.
What's the wrench on that?
Badass, dude. That thing's a fucking rocket.
What's the wrench on that? The range.
The way I ride it, and I'm getting about 40 miles.
Nice.
And
That's so
that's
good.
balls out shit with gnarly hills. So, I usually do 35, and it's got a little left. I could probably do 40.
I think 35 is the right range.
Well,
really,
my
when it comes
age,
to riding.
30, 27, 30 miles, where I'm fucking done. It's far.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And then like, what's I got the other one.
But one of the most underrated boards right now is that Flipski, and everyone says that on the
I haven't
review.
tried it.
Even the guys that are doing reviews on it are going,
Yeah.
"Fuck, why are people buying this thing? It's Flipski's legit."
Yeah.
So it's a badass board, and it's $2,200.
I feel like I want
It's
to
a-
try
It's
it.
a
I've never-
$4,000 board.
It's not a bad board, but again, it's like you're saying, nobody knows it. There's not enough out there. It's just like the Metro Board Pathfinder. The Metro Board Pathfinder is a fucking amazing board.
Well, there's so many
it's just-
board choices now.
Yeah,
That's what I was
nobody
saying.
knows
Everything's
it.
getting drowned in this big glut to design. We're in that chapter of Eboarding where all this innovation design.
Yes.
But when that happens, a lot of shit gets drowned, and it takes a while for the good shit to filter out. And so
I still
shit
think
gets
that
lost.
the price is a little bit too expensive for these. The barrier to entry to be able to get on a proper group ride and be able to do those things is so high for most
I know
people.
you guys spend
Yeah,
$3,000
I think
at least.
getting to the point where, honestly, inboards, big credit to you guys. You guys are so focused on price point and getting your boards valued to where the average, consumer can be there. I think that's where the industry needs to continue to strive towards, is getting these not only safe but reliable in the range and everything, but getting that proper price point where it makes sense and being able to get people in it. Financing maybe is a good, second thing, but it's the industry doesn't have a lot of backing money wise, be able to allow certain financing like auto industries and stuff do. But yeah, I think price points need to definitely come down.
Definitely.
Well, hopefully that'll happen as the batteries get
I
better.
think, yeah, but although when you get better batteries, the price goes up, and right now that's the most expensive thing for it. So are you going to get a better battery that costs less? Probably not.
Well, maybe I'm saying when the size starts going down, maybe.
Right.
But maybe to make that smaller battery might be more expensive. Who
I
knows?
think just like everything, that when the batteries come out, it's going to cause a price increase. But as manufacturing of those batteries, increase and the price goes down on those, then that'll allow the boards to then go back down to a proper price point.
Now, another factor I really think that why the industry isn't as big as all the other electric rivals is, as we were talking about before, is electric skateboarding is dangerous, man. I mean, you get fucked up. If you're going to do it and have any fun, like we were saying, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's a gnarly sport. It's brutal. And a lot of people don't like to get, skinned up and hurt and shit.
Yeah.
Where you can ride an EUC or a bike or a scooter and be much safer and not fall as bad enough.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be a real e-boarder, it's not for the faint of heart.
Definitely.
So I think that the hardcoreness of it, probably limits it some too.
Definitely. Hey, no, but I want to thank you for coming in the show today. And then, bro, it's such an honor, to be, your friend.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it again. And what we'll have to do is go out and shoot some video.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't have enough time, but that's actually what the lights
surprisingly,
went off.
dude, yeah.
It's because we went over the hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We've never actually gone this long, and
Yeah.
it's like it didn't even feel like that long until.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know, but thank you for coming. If we can do a second part, we will. And then
cool.
thank you,
If
everybody.
you guys want to see JT in the future, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Let us know that you want to see him. Let us know that you want to see certain people.
Yeah.
And also, anyone from around the world, anywhere, especially from other parts of the world. Like I said, we're kings here. We own San Diego. This is our town. Come and ride with us and let these guys know that you're coming and join up. And we'll show you Diego.
Yeah, we're
There
great
we
hosts.
go. There we go. Everybody, thank you for another lovely time in San Diego for the Cali Skate Show.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure about that.
No, he looks to me. He's like, "Are you gonna have to finish sometimes?"
Yeah, no, I cut off people sometimes. Yes.
We vibe together.
Bye. Bro, I need a clock, bro. On the back, I need a clock on the back because I usually like.
The all lights only went out once.
I don't track the time.
Yeah, no, dude.
So I